How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to my series with my lovely boyfriend,
Hello.
who is a comic artist and an art teacher, and I am showing him Marvel Rivals character designs and costume designs for him to analyze from an artistic standpoint. We're, let's see, 11 videos in by now, working on our 12th now. I know last time we said we'd be doing Hela, but Hela's new costume is not out yet, and we're doing one as a special birthday present to me. We're doing an extra one. So today we will be doing the Invisible, not Iron Fist, nope, Invisible Woman.
The Invisible Iron Fist. Ooh. Her outfit is actually kind of different from the one we looked at with Johnny's.
Yeah.
How interesting, because hers is cut up a bit smoother, where his is like kind of jagged. She has these really cute little pauldron things made out of the blue shapes, and I love the ribbing on the side too. I'm not sure why there's like an underboob cut off there though. Maybe they just didn't want to overemphasize the goods there, or what?
That's not enough to cover her nipples.
Well, I actually really like that cyan kind of on the collar too. Kind of breaks up the shapes a bit and gives it a little bit of interest. Which, yeah, kind of just like right up at the collar just to break up the blue shapes a bit, and then, you know, not really used much except for as like a kind of a highlight color from the lighting in the other places, so it's not taking a lot of attention. And a beautiful purple brush strokes in that blue too. I love messing with color like that. Like, yes, take one big color and then like add one of its neighbors on the color wheel, just to make the color have a little bit more interest and variety in it without actually pulling your attention away too much.
Yeah, there are purple brush strokes. You're right.
I like the white cutouts on the arms too. Those feel fun. It's kind of like that big muscle in your forearm there.
Which is ironic because she's got sticks.
Yeah, like, and she doesn't have a lot of muscle there in any case, so it's kind of interesting to add that to give her the impression of having a muscle on that arm there. And they got a little bit of silver here and there. But silver looks like they're just using it in this case to kind of break up the white spaces a little bit, so you have some form.
Yeah, it's hard to tell it's there unless you're looking for it.
Yeah, like it's in like the joints, especially like on the wrist and the arm, and along the hips. There's a big line there to kind of like cut up the legs and the torso and where they all connect. Because if they didn't have them, they'd just be kind of like one giant shape. So it's just breaking up things a little bit. That's kind of fun too. They use some vertical lines on the middle of the white patch there, which kind of contrasts with the, horizontal. Vertical lines are the blue ones, horizontal on the white.
You have that exactly backwards.
I know. Oh yeah, I did have it right the first time. I say, good thing I didn't go for math. Anyway, geometry, graphing, vertical lines on the white piece and are contrasting with those verticals on the blue pieces, which are also doing double duty of like are following the rib cage shape a bit. The belt's set really low, which is kind of interesting, but I think the idea behind that is it makes her torso look longer. Because if they set it as like across the middle, like where its normal height would be at, it would kind of look like her torso was kind of small, and then she had like lots of leg.
Mm-hmm. She does have lots of leg, to be clear.
Yeah, which I'm like, since she already has lots of leg, they definitely don't want to make even more lots of leg. So they're making that belt buckle sit a lot lower than it normally would. Because you can even see it, it's like drawn downwards.
Yeah.
She also has the astronaut flap.
Oh, yes, she does.
When you gotta go, you gotta go.
But the belt's in the way.
No, she's got this. It's the thing with being a woman. You got more pieces to take off. You know? Fumbling around with like pantyhose and crap. It's like, ah, I have to pee.
I saw a comic a few months ago that told me something that I never considered, which is that if you're wearing like a one-piece dress, the simplest way to go to the bathroom is to take it and strip down from the top, which is wild to think about having to do that just to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, like some of those like leotard type outfits and stuff where they're like one like suit that you can't undo. Yep. What else is going on with their design? I'm really liking a lot of the lines on the arms. They're very flowy. And there's a lot of rhythm to it. Because it's just like, oh, that's a lovely swish on like her forearm. And it like actually follows up through the... You moved her a little bit. Move her back. Right, a little more. Right there. Do you see how the line, like the top of her forearm, is leading into this line that crawls across the back of her upper arm?
Mm-hmm.
That is so nice to me. Because like it makes the arm feel like really solid. Because there's this thing you could do with line, or implied line is what it's called sometimes. Because there's not like a real thick line that's there. It's part of the visual shape that we're seeing, but in our minds we kind of follow it as if it were a line. And so it's creating this really nice movements with her arm. Even when you look at her arm that's farther away, but she's moving right now, very uncooperative. Like there's this really nice shapes that's like they're both like pointing up to that little white patch on her shoulder blades. It's almost wing-like. I really like that design. She also has some white on her lower back too. That is feeling very... The shape feels very supportive. Like she has a really strong muscle group there. And a big gray patch on the back. I really, really like the shapes that they've done on this outfit. And they already have a lot of good shapes on some other outfits we've talked about, but this one has a really strong sense of using lines. And what I'm really impressed with is the lines support other parts of the outfit. Because I was saying how that leading line on the arms led to that white patch right on her shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
Like some of the other outfits have had these wonderful lines, but this one really leads into the other stuff on the outfit in a really cool way. I also love that, because they already did that big patch of white on the lower back, they also made the belt have this big chunky piece too. So there's like, you know, she feels like she is rock solid.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because they're doing like the hourglass women's waist thing. So like they put a bunch of big blocky stuff on there to give this like really strengthening vibe feel to it. I also like the little jet engine detail on the upper back, but that one's kind of like
wow, yeah, I never noticed that.
That one is kind of serving as a little center point for all the pieces on her top of her arms to come together and rest on. Like it's like a little attachment point for everything.
It's also in the vein of spacesuits. It also looks like an air hose plug or something.
Yeah, like something
for an oxygen tank. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think we saw another one. Maybe it might have been Johnny's that did this too, where the little gray patches above her buttocks are like the little bony landmarks that are on figures.
Yep.
Let's have a larger view, because I was talking about how the top of this costume a lot was supporting the strength of the body and such. I just want to see what they kind of did with shape there. It's like, dang, that looks good on the legs with the white lines and having it break up with this big swoosh. It's kind of interesting because it's a lot of curves. And some of the other outfits that use this kind of line and shape language are doing a lot more straight lines, and because they're trying to do like a lot of masculine characters, which might be what they were going for. Is, you know, like let's use some curves and things to kind of evoke a softer look, but it's still very flowy and feels very energetic. I love the little shoe details too. They're like the little blue details.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a fun idea too, having the heel be the big color spot instead of the toe. The toe has a little bit, but it's a more bounce towards the heel, which kind of follows with the rest of the designs. They're doing a big white shape on the front of the legs, and then they're breaking up more blue on the back of her outfit. And yeah, and even the blue on the leg is leading in really well with the upper shape there, so they feel like they're part of the same fabric rather than a cutout, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it feels like the white shape is on top of it, and just makes it all feel like one suit. And then got the dark gray separating the joints out a bit. And then, you know, she has like the metal bits on her elbows and knees too. But I think the dark gray was kind of a cool idea to break up the joints on the outfit so that the different parts of the body start to take form a bit more. Then some of the lines on the shoes, those are kind of fun too. They're following some of the muscle groups, I think, on the back, but they're cut up in a little bit of a different way. So they're more like an accent. Because like, I can see like the big arrow going up on the back of the leg is kind of like that big tendon that goes to the your heel.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not like outlining tendon, it's just kind of accenting it. And then they're leaving the big muscle group on the calves alone as far as like little filigree details. Then on the front, I saw there was like kind of like a swish down to the toe. And then like another piece to fill out the shape of the foot there. Which I really like that. I think that looks like a really nice. There's a little bit of overlap from the leg too. So it makes it feel kind of like a tennis shoe shape without actually going full tennis shoe.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've seen a few tennis shoe shapes on some things and it's like, it looks too much. Like, because it stylistically, tennis shoes are really casual. So sometimes they kind of conflict with this idea of like futuristic outfit. Because they're just a little too casual. They're not cool enough.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure I could see her wearing these to a tennis court, but...
Yeah, but it invokes the idea of the parts of a shoe that makes up a shoe, because shoes have that tongue, they have these parts that go over the toe, and there's all sorts of other pieces of the shoe that work together. So they're using like what we can kind of visualize as a shoe, but then really abstracting it to just a few shapes. But I like that it overlaps on that part, because then it makes it feel like it's attached to her leg and not just like a weird line that just happens to be there. It has three-dimensionality. That's probably what I'm going for. Just by that little bit of overlap. Which is interesting, because I don't think it's really modeled, or if it is modeled there, it's really subtle. So it's a way to give three-dimensionality without actually having to make a huge shape or a form. As part of the, like the belt has a big form, right, on that back piece, and that gives three-dimensionality. So it's a different solution to still get things to pop forward. Let's see, I love the colors on here too. Let's see what they did with the overall colors here, because I'm trying to see what the top of her suit here is like, because they do a lot of like brighter on top. The shoes, is that lighting? Let's turn it around, because I think the shoes look kind of light. I think they might be on the front. They're dark on the back, but... Do you think the shoes look light on the toes? Compared to the top of her outfit?
I think they're more teal. There's the... I don't think they're a lighter shade of the same blue. I think they're more teal than the upper blue.
Yeah. I'm trying to decide if that's a surface treatment, because I think the belt is kind of more shiny than the blue outfit. Or if that's like just a purposeful design color choice, because I think it looks very nice.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a little bit of a reversal of what they usually do, because usually they do the bottom of the outfit gets darker and less saturated. But since her outfit is like majority white, they're like, okay, let's just pick the blue that's more light in value. So that the darker blue has more contrast. So by that way, we're getting a value contrast rather than a saturation contrast, which is what they normally go for. I also love there's a little bit of subtle color additions to the white areas, because I see a little bit of blue and purple brought into the shaded areas in certain places.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think if there's anything I missed. There's a little bit of a crisscross thing too on the silver on her legs on the white part, which are doing a lot like the bottom of the boots are. It's loosely associated with a muscle group, but it's been abstracted a bit, so it invokes these shapes and the idea of the muscle groups, but it's not following it one to one like a lot of the other outfits. I think they went more like they're gonna loosely follow it, but they're gonna go more designer shape rather than organic shape, because those curves on the white section are like geometric, right? And they're like perfectly oval, which I think is a fun idea because like Fantastic Four is supposed to be like space scientists, smart people, you know.
Smart people and Johnny.
Yeah, and Johnny. But I like the idea of trying to invoke those ideas by, instead of following organic design choices, let's do geometric ones. Which I didn't really pick up on Johnny's costume as much, but on hers I feel like that's what they were trying to go for, and I really enjoy it. Let's look at her face a bit, because I didn't really look at much for the details there, which is, I think, the only skin tone you see in the entire thing. Just...
Oh, there's another costume where you'll see a lot of skin tone.
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
I like the hair treatment, though, because most of the other blondes have been really dark blonde. I love the oranges and kind of browns and things that they brought into this hair.
I would like to point out that she completes the trilogy of blonde white women wearing white and blue.
I'm sorry. I'm just looking at the one at a time. I'm not going to compare women with women. We love all women equally, even if they're all blonde. But
she's got teal on the tips of her hair at the bottom.
Yeah, they've done that in a few other costumes,
or is that
too.
Seafoam green?
It is pretty cyan or greenish, but yeah, they'll sometimes take a color and use it as like a little bit of like an illustrative accent in the hairs.
Yeah.
And like there's pink and stuff too, and they'll usually do some colors.
Oh yeah, there is pink.
That are like way different from the costume, because that gives us a lot of contrast. But they're making it to not be like, oh my gosh, where'd this pink come from? They're doing it as the smallest like visual stamp they can. So it's just like a little spice, a little hint on there, which is a good way to balance things. If you're going to get something that's too different, a good way to balance it is just to make sure it's not wildly bigger than everything else. But I was saying, I said orange in the hair. I'm thinking color mixing, because when I look at the brown, sometimes I'll look at it and I try to think of like how to mix it. And so I'm just thinking brown, really, really dark orange. And that's just me, my color mixing thing. There's some really interesting desaturation on the ends of the hairs too, but it's a lot of blue, which I think is gonna match it with the outfit. Which that color alone, it's like, gray on yellow, right?
Yeah.
But because her outfit is primarily blue, they have to, or else the hair is gonna like go neon, because it's gonna have no harmony at all with the outfit. I mean, for this angle, I just noticed the gems on the side of the pauldrons are like almost opal-like.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little bit of color there. That's beautiful. And that's the thing too, that's mostly the same as the white, and the white has a lot of color added to it in a lot of places. I would love to know if that's how they did it though, because there's a lot of surface treatment and iridescence and things. So that matches just by matching the white material with the gem. Even though there are different materials, the color families are the same. I was going to look at her eyes and face and jewelry too. So she got silver, which will match with the silver she's already wearing. Her eyes are interesting because I think they are really matched with her outfit.
Oh yeah.
And then a lot of warmth, which goes with the hair too, even. But her outfit is a lot of blues, and I think the white might be a really neutral white or a blue white. I think it's a blue white. If I had to give it a color family, where if you were to color pick that white, it might be a bit bluish, but I might be wrong. It could be slightly pink or warm too.
I see blue brush strokes and pink brush strokes. Like they put pink brush strokes around the belt and her underboobs. I guess to imply shadow.
Yeah, his shadow. And it's like on the rib cage too, and a little bit on the hips, and a little bit here and there and everywhere. And I think some of it might be dynamic, because when you tip her over into different lights, she gets like material shine and texture and things. And like only the white fabric has that kind of like a scaly texture to it. The blue doesn't. But I was thinking about color families. As a thing they will do sometimes is like all that blue, if they don't want the outfit to harmonize too much, they'll pick a white that's, it's practically white, but it has a little bit of some type of color in it. I'm really trying to identify this one because it's kind of tricky since the background's blue and her outfit's blue and everything is so blue.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to say maybe they picked something a little pink or yellow. I'm kind of leaning towards pink though. But it could be the brush strokes interfering with my ability to judge. I might have to color pick it to be sure. We'll see. You can put it in the comments. Color pick it and tell me if I was right. Is it kind of a pinkish white? Because I think it might be.
White and gold or black and blue?
Right. And she's got a lot of paint on the face too, and it's really pretty. That one, I think they did a lot of painting on it because they want a lot of attention on faces with these kind of characters. But it's like they got the light yellow for like the highlights on the under the eyes and on the forehead and the chin where the light's gonna hit the face, and then a lot of warmth and reds in like the cheekbones and the bridge of the nose and the sides of the nose. But yeah, that's like a very illustrated face. It's really beautiful. And I love that they do a lot of texture on the hairs. On the hair too. But the texture of the hair on this game is so interesting because it's a 3D model after all, and usually hair is kind of tricky because you have to have the game run without a bajillion hair follicles everywhere. So they just throw a lot of texture on there. I'm almost certain that some of the hair on here is like quite like simple as far as the way it's modeled, but they put like these 2D strands and textures and things on it that make it look gorgeous. We'll have to have someone start a sister series or something of like 3D modeler comments on Marvel Rivals. Good stuff. But yeah, I think I've picked her apart as far as this costume.
All right, well, let's move on to recolors then. Here's her shop recolor, which is more of the, I like this better. It's a nicer color, I think. I like this blue on her, and it's closer to her comics design.
Yeah. I'm seeing what they did with the kind of the light silvery accents, because on the white outfit, a lot of those outlines were kind of that darker gray. In this case, except for in a few cases, it's kind of like a greenish teal-ish. And in some cases, I don't think it's actually a different color, like the ones on the leg circles. I think they look pretty similar. Oh, they actually didn't color her butt black like her regular outfit. They went all blue. How interesting. Oh, and they lost the little details on the back where they made the white patch black, too. That was one of my favorite parts of the white outfit, was that those arms went up into that little, like, diamond-shaped patch. Yeah. I mean, they kind of create a different shape by doing that, though, because now she kind of has, like, this big, like, cape-like shape on her shoulders. It almost feels heavy, like she's got, like, this weight. Because now the black area is kind of flowing across her shoulders and wrapping around instead. Whereas before, it was like the white line would have come up and would have, like, cut up into the shoulder blades and felt more like, they winged out. And I just noticed the things aren't silver on their elbows here either. They're black.
Yeah.
Let's see, belt's black. Oh, belt's black instead of blue. So, because I already said they colored the buttocks area a different color, and they switched the shapes around. How interesting. It really makes that hookup, like, circle thing on her back stand out, because now it's like bright blue outline.
Yep.
Let's spin her around and see, like, I want to see how the belt kind of cuts different, because before the whole front's white, and the way that this is all blue, they just lose the cutouts a bit on the legs. Let's see, zoom out again. And the shoes seem pretty much the same. It's just like the couple sections of the back, really, I think, are different.
The forest, the weird forest green and teal bits where the silver patches were on the default costume for her knees and her vagina bones or whatever you want to call them.
Hip.
Um, that's an interesting color that I never picked out looking at this before.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I would have went that direction because there's like no other green in the outfit. I think I might have just went with like a darker blue, to be honest.
I would have made it match the circle on the back, whether that makes the other parts gray or the circle on the back green. Because like that gray circle on the back was the same color as the knee divider.
Yeah, and honestly, they could have just left them gray because gray wouldn't have really, I think, clashed with this. And they did leave it gray in like the crook of the arm and the wrist areas. Like those ones they didn't really mess with if you quit moving a bit, but you can see that they're still gray. They do stand out a lot more than on the white because there's more contrast with those silver and blue because we went from saturated to completely desaturated. But I still think they could have, like, the other outfit had dark blue and cyan, and this has a lot of cyan blue. They could have brought in the dark blue back and gotten that separation. I'm still not sure how I feel about changing the back of the outfit, because now it just feels like she has giant blue pants. But it's not awful either, and the design, because it already was so strong, even moving a few pieces doesn't change too much. But I really think the diamonds on the back of the arms were awesome in the last outfit. I think they should have kept those blue.
Yeah.
But that's my only critique on this recolor. I don't think they changed anything with the face as far as colors or anything. It all looks pretty much the same there. It's just the outfit was kind of switched around a bit.
Even with the criticisms you've levied, I still like this better than the white and blue.
Fair enough. I like the white and blue, which is interesting because I'm more gothic in general, but, you know.
All right, up next, the Season 1 Ranked Reward skin.
Okay, let's see what they've done here.
This is the same as Johnny's Season 1 Ranked Reward skin, except she's not on fire, so you can see it.
Yeah, well, that's an interesting choice. They didn't adjust it to get more of the dark blacks out of their dark black, so the whole outfit ended up being tamale red. Let's see what they did here, because they again changing around the shapes a bit. So now it's like majority black. She has some accent on the wrist and the hands, then a whole lot of nothing, and then like a big accent for her arms and a little bit on the collar. Obviously the big Fantastic Four logo. Her belt. Ooh, I love that they cut this different so that the backs of that arm on the black feel a little bit more like cuts or pointy danger, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, like they feel like because they left the middle all dark except for like the big Dracula logo thing. So now she has like these big solid red pauldron things that feel awesome. And I love how that logo cuts into the belt. That seems like it fit really well with the design that we're already working with.
Yeah.
And that feels pretty cool. And I was looking at the legs when we were zoomed out, because they really cut that down to very little, and they let the big red circles and the knees be like the only accent. Everything else went black. And the black they kept fairly low key. It's got like 2 values in it, and it looks like a lot of them are following the previous outfit of like the white areas have a little lighter gray, and the darker areas that were blue have the dark black. I'm looking at it just to be sure, but it looks like they followed that logic, and it looks really nice. You're ruining the podcast. Yeah, I think it is the same logic. There's a little bit of that silver on the front flap thing. Is there any other silver except for the belt and the baubles on the side?
There's spikes on her knees.
Spikes on her knees.
There's
just a few teeny tiny ones. It was kind of interesting. I just noticed those. They didn't change the surface treatment on the color areas. So if the red is on the mesh area, it has the mesh texture, and if it's not, it doesn't. That's kind of interesting. I wonder if it was baked in or something when they were editing this.
Well, it's probably a No, it's too detailed to be a render texture on the model, I think. So it's probably just a specific artistic choice. I really like what they did with her legs, by the way, in this costume.
Yeah, I like it because it's like a big shape, so they're letting things be a lot more simple because they want this cut to have lots of black, and so they're cutting the red accents to be just really big, easy to read. And they give some really fun shapes too, because like the curves come in and they're like, and like when you're looking at those curves and they're just cut off on the side, they almost look kind of sharp like the rest of the outfit too, because you're really only seeing it get cut off until you turn to the side and you get to see the full circle. But like from the front and stuff, that kind of looks kind of like it could be spiky, like a little sliver.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking at her face a little bit from here too. Like they made the earring like gunmetal black.
Oh, so they did.
And I find it interesting that they left the eyes really bright.
I think they're even brighter than the default costume, actually.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting, but it is a thing you can do. It's called a focal color, which is basically like you pick a color and you're going to use it only in the one spot you want people to look, and you basically use it nowhere else.
Stare into my eyes.
Yeah. And sometimes that can be good, and other times it can be a little too strong, and then you can't get away from it. But they have a little bit of like a bluish color in the gemstones, which I think is what they're trying to do to balance it. See, I feel like I'm a little gremlin-y. I'm like, I want this all to be like blood red, you know? Like my soul.
Invisible woman with blood red eyes would certainly be something.
So, I want to go like all 100% Shadow the Hedgehog gothic on this. So I respect the restraint because I wouldn't have had any. And she still got the pink highlights. They took off the blue, it looks like. Because there's no blue in the costume, so that'd be weird. But the pink is a warm color, so it can stay. And there's a little bit of purple brushstrokes in the black areas and stuff. And blue, too, actually.
Yeah.
Which is a good way to get some contrast, because we have, like, almost entirely warm colors. So they're just bringing in a little bit of cool colors to give the colors more pop, essentially. So it's just like by effect of having them in the neighborhood, it just makes the warmer colors more colorful. Which is probably why every costume on this game just looks like an explosion of heroic color, like it popped off a comic book page. It's because they're using color theory to make the brighter, either through having its color temperature challenged by having cool colors a little bit amongst the warm colors, and vice versa, or saturation and contrast, and they do awesome with it. I really like the hair though. They went a lot lighter so that they could let the ends fade off into this like gorgeous red.
I wonder what it would have looked like if they went Shadow the Hedgehog with her hair.
Like black hair with red ends.
Yeah.
It's like, here comes Shadow.
Heroes rise again.
Dur, dur, dur. Yeah, I like this recolor and additional details. It was pretty fun.
All right, what next? How about we go with the movie skin?
Ooh, the hair.
Yeah, her hair in this is gorgeous. Look at that.
She's like ready for her like photo model shoot. It's all beautifully curled, and I like that they let it go lighter on the ends. So it gets this like extra dynamic. A lot of extra colors thrown in too. We got like, I see green and teal and blue and yellow. A lot of variety in that. Even just the whole ensemble of that hair has a lot of color going on. Because we have like basically the dull, unsaturated blonde, and then they punch up the oranges as it gets to like mid-length. And then they go back down to like light value. Which is such a fun, it makes her glowing almost. This is a fun way that they could have went about this, because like we have the darker value on top, and then by saturating it, it gets a bit more of a lighter value. And they could have like desaturated that and as they went, but by making it lighter, it goes desaturated and lighter in value. So it's just like 1, 2, 3. Really nice looking.
Yeah.
I also really love how shine ends up on the models for the hair. It always just looks so luscious. It's like, what hair product are they using? Okay, I'm gonna try not to get lost in the sauce. 'Cause I'm also like picking up like the highlights that are hitting like the head and stuff, which is always looks great. But that's dynamic lighting, and I'm here to talk about the general designs. Okay, so I saw Johnny's version of this outfit, and this has a lot of similarities. I feel like Johnny, they went way more poofy though. This one's like form-fitting. The belt kind of looks a little bit suctioned on. Especially when she moves, but got the ribbing on top. It's cut a little bit high. And then they got a little bit lines to the bottom. They kind of leave big shape in the middle, but they're still doing the pockets and on the pants and everything. Kind of interesting because I looked at the other design, so my head's kind of making comparisons, because the other design kind of felt more like clothing and this feels more like superhero suit, and I kind of wish there was a little bit more of a clothing feel in this one.
I don't know. I think the top still feels like sweater turtleneck.
Yeah, I don't know, I think this would be kind of cool if they had let her have a little bit more of a loose fit on the pants, especially when we're talking about like this idea of retro clothing that they're going for with some of these movie designs. But who knows? I haven't seen the movie that it's based off of, so maybe they did the same thing in the movie.
It's in the local theater. We could go see it.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be pretty good.
But you know, like my impression of like older style clothing is like a looser, more relaxed fit. And they have that in the top, but it's not really reflected in the bottom of the outfit as much, except for the boots, which look a little more casual and looser fitting. But it's like, I don't know, just like a little bit in the pants, I think, would have looked nice in my opinion.
What's with the tab in the top of her boots, on the inside of her leg? What is that?
It kind of reminds me of the tabs that are usually on the back. I'm not really sure what that piece is supposed to be on the side. Unless they're thinking like space suit boot and you can hang it on the side of a rail or something.
It could just be something you grip to pull the boot off.
Yeah, true. If it's supposed to be a spacesuit thing, if we like the lock, it makes it airtight. I was actually looking at what's on around her belt on the back. Because there's like a metal piece there. Which that one feels a bit random. Some of the other ones are on the outfits feel a bit more placed. Not sure if Johnny had it too. I like the bracelet on the glove though. That's cool. It adds a little bit of chunkiness and dimensionality because now you have like this kind of big 3D object. I like the way the ribbing's cut on the back here too. Like those two lines, and it kind of the lines will go across her arms too. Which a lot like when they did this with Johnny's suits, they have like a lot of those vertical lines, and they're like, all right, we're gonna cut this up with some horizontal lines. And they're just they could have let the belt do that, but they want a little bit more, so they put it on the arms too, because there's a lot of verticals. So we're like, we gotta get some more help in here to balance this out. There's even two smaller lines that come off of that horizontal line, which I think is just kind of evoking the idea of a cut garment. Because a lot of them will have, like, for that to be form-fitting, it would have to be cut in the back anyway. Otherwise, it'd be a looser fit. So it's called, like, darting. It's common in clothing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think if I can say anything special about this outfit in general that I didn't say for Johnny's of the same thing. Because they're very similar. Even though they're, like, different characters. She's got a little bit of boob sock going on too.
A little bit.
Just a little bit.
It is a game that makes its money off of cosmetic skins.
Yeah.
There's going to be some boob socking.
I feel like I want to like it because I liked Johnny's version so much. But I think my major complaint is that it doesn't quite... It wants to be clothing. It doesn't quite feel like clothing because the cut is not right. Like, it's right for a superhero outfit. It's not right for a loose fit, knit jerseys. Like she put knit jersey around her boob and then like put something else on underneath. I don't know.
Yeah.
But then it doesn't go under the armpit. It stops in the front if you turn her to the side. See, there's like a stripe in the middle.
Hmm.
I think that's my major complaint. It's just cut up a little too weird.
It's not grandma sweater enough.
But you know, like some of the shapes are not supporting the idea that they're trying to go for. Like, and that's just like a big blank area when you have all this texture. So it just, you know, and like the front panel almost wants me to like makes me think workwear, like overalls, but that doesn't fit with the fact that there's no straps and that the top is knit.
Mm-hmm.
And it just makes her look like she has a really weird high-waisted pant. With like
Yeah, it kind of does.
I feel like if I was going to tweak this, I would just move that horizontal line down or get rid of it entirely and let that be blank space with no lines whatsoever. I think there's like a couple tweaks on the lines and the way they cut out stuff. I think this would be really great. But my opinion is that the proportions of some of these things aren't quite making sense, and the math ain't mathing.
Well, hey, at least everything above the shoulders is great.
Yeah, like I love that part and the gloves and stuff. And like, I think it's just around the waist area because I don't think there's a lot going on in the legs. If we zoom out, that are really weird. I mean, they do a little bit of striping on the front, and then they got a little bit of ribbing on the back too. I don't know. Did Johnny's even have like that middle side panel thing? Maybe that's what's throwing it off so bad.
Let's find out.
Kind of curious. It's really driving me a little nuts. Because I remember I liked his so much. Yeah, he doesn't have a little side panel thing. And his is actually a little more three-dimensional, but I think that might be to compensate for the fact he's on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really what it is. Because I was like, why does his work so well and hers doesn't? It's the same idea. Well, now we know why. And like I said, the other one looked like overalls, workwear and stuff. Workwear doesn't typically have that middle panel. Like sportswear and stuff typically does a lot because they want that stretch, but not workwear.
Yeah.
So I think that's really kind of what's setting it off for me. Is that we have too many conflicting ideas with what they wanted to have happen, and they lost some of the really good shapes and stuff they could have done. Because like the top is looking so good until it hits that middle panel, and then it's like, what happened to the rest of your shirt?
I think it's very funny that you're having this reaction because it's the exact opposite of the reaction of most of the player base who fucking love this skin. No eye for art, I guess.
I guess. The thing is, I really love the sweater. I think it's like 80 to 90% there. It's the 10% that's bothering me. Especially because I saw how well it could be done with the previous outfit as far as the shape language. Like, I think this would just be even cuter if they let the vest be like a knit shirt all the way down to her waist, and then let like the pants or something be overalls or something. Like pick a lane, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know. Is it just me that the middle of her waist, like her belly and stuff, just looks a little odd? Like
It does.
Okay.
You're right. Now that you've drawn my attention to it, I can't unsee it, and I'm not sure I want the skin anymore.
You can't. It's like she got discount overalls and she needs to go get a refund because they forgot to give her the rest of the overalls. But yeah, I love the idea of the outfit. I already said my piece, I think. I'm just going to keep repeating myself if I keep talking.
All right, up next, back in February was the 60th anniversary of the marriage of Invisible Woman and Mr. Fantastic in the comics. So, we got a paired skin.
Oh, we even got a little animation. How
Yep.
sweet.
Spoilers for his wedding skin.
I was also just like, damn, I didn't know they made him into like a brick house. Ooh. That was a fun idea. So I was expecting more like long wedding dress train thing, but they went really like dancer flowery with it.
Especially flowery. Look what's on her chest.
Yeah, but I was like, even the skirt is like got a ruffle to it, makes it look like a flower.
Yeah, like a bellflower.
Yeah. And the tights and stocking things are kind of fun. Because they could really just play with lines all the way around, and it's like this interwoven thing going on. Really flowy. Trying to see if there's a logic to it, because it's got like a lot of what appears to be seemingly random lines. Let's see here. There seems to be some commonality with a lot of the lines starting from the outside and sweeping upwards at a vertical. Because especially if you look at the forward, there's a bit of a pattern of like let's start at the knee. So there's like 3 verticals. Do you see them?
Mm-hmm.
From the knee, and then like 1 crossover. And then from the bottom,
There's actually swooping lines that are broken up by the crossbars. Like here and here are a continuous line that's just broken up by the solid white.
yeah.
On her calves, for those who aren't in the room with me to see me point at my TV screen.
Yeah, and then going downward from the knee, there's like 1 big leading line, and then it kind of swoops really sharply before it hits the bottom and follows another line from like the ankle up. So I think there is a logic to it. It's really pretty. I love that they really considered shape too, because like the back of the calves are really covered compared to some other sections. So yeah, I wonder how many iterations they went through that before they decided it was the final one.
The world may never know.
Yeah, it's kind of like they did like, big sweeping ideas, and then they would do a cross section to break it up. Which is a fun way to keep some order into a seemingly random pattern. Oh man, I love the details on the dress texture too. It's like a little bit of glitter and it fades out to a darker blue. It looks like the gloves are doing kind of the same thing as the legs, but I was really curious if from the back if they follow kind of her default outfit a bit. Oh, loosely, but not quite. But there's kind of a flower petal shape to the back. So interesting idea to do a little bit of overlap on the cutout. Because I noticed those silver swishes on that are hugging the back there. From the front, they're emphasizing the rib cage and the torso, creating the shape there.
Mm-hmm.
Which also is like a very classic corset shape for a dress too, is to do that kind of like skinny and then out. And then they put the ribbing like a corset would have. And then they do like a wiggly big pizzazz piece on the boob. There's even bedazzled stuff on there too, gems and things. And they kept it weighted to one side, so like they have the big thing on the one side, they have the gems only on the one side. And that's the little bit of asymmetry that comes out of all this symmetrical design they've had so far. And again, it's asymmetry up towards the top, right? So it's more interesting. Look here is a little different, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they even have it on the head too, though. Like the head. Okay, remember how I said the big item to offset and off balance? So we have big shape on her shoulder and chest, little shape on her ear, big shape on the opposite side to balance it.
Mm.
That's a design thing. Very smart. I love the treatment of the gems. It's got that really rhinestone glittery. And she's got a little bit of white nail polish to go with the wedding theme. Looks like it's a gold and silver wedding, so it's got a little bit of gold baubles.
Yep, it's her shoes too.
Ooh. Those are fun too, like really hooped. I was thinking how that gets put together. Nice.
I mean, Reed is filthy, stinking rich, so.
I love the idea of having the veil be almost weightless. It just kind of floats there. It has a big animated movement, but when it's stationary, it's like just hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
And the sheer on it. Look at the layers on that sheer. I wonder if that's baked in a way, like a texture on top of a texture, or if they actually have it like 3D modeled wrinkles. Because you can see how where it's denser. Yeah, I think there might be some baked in density in certain places. Very cool. Let's see, is there anything... I didn't really talk about the shoulder treatment. Well, there's more cutouts. I just noticed on the shoulder, it's like a little U-shaped cutout. So you're gonna fight crime in this thing? It's held together by threads.
It's a costume in a hero shooter.
I like the top piece too. It kind of reminds me of these collars that you put on top of dresses that like really fill out the neckline, so like it kind of covers the whole neck.
Mm-hmm.
And they really cut up the shapes in that too, and let some of the like the peachy warmth of her skin come through. That one's just nice shapes. Like they're just following curves of the collar, doing some lines that are, again, these curves. That one's also a bit asymmetrical because they have one big silver accent on the one side and then like none on the other, so they could do the sheer and the big, silver accent with the flower.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was really nice. I'm also kind of a sucker when they do like these really designed symmetrical things and they're like, all right, asymmetry time.
Yeah.
They seem to have really a lot of fun with it. Let's see, your hair treatment, it's got a little bit of that fade out on the ends, but there's a lot of warmth and orange on the ends of her hair.
Yeah, I like that orange as a hair color.
Yeah, it's really pretty. And it kind of goes with like how blonde hair kind of works sometimes. Like if you're a person that goes out in the sun a lot with blonde hair, or any other colors hairs do this too, but because you're in the sun will actually bleach the top of your hair. So your hair will be darker or more saturated at the ends. Because the sun has like literally bleached your hair lighter.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I used to happen to me a lot when I was young. I'd get really light blonde hair because I was outside all the time. And then in the winter it would get darker because that hair would grow out and it'd be indoors in the winter. My hair would come out darker by the time spring rolled around again. She have rings and stuff on too.
She has a wedding ring.
She has a ring.
And I don't see one on her other hand.
That would make sense because it's like a whole thing. I love there's like a big round cutout on the hand too. It's kind of interesting because they really were looking at some shapes and they're like, okay, what would be cool to have like big shapes let them come out. So like a big circle on the hand is like easy to read, and it follows the shape of the hand, makes it feel three-dimensional. And they have a lot of cutouts and things, especially on the back and and just to make things really shapy. Like even that white section on the back of the dress feels like the shape of a shoulder blade.
Mm-hmm.
And so you really get a lot of the forms of the body just by having all these lines and things. And there's not too many. They're all really ordered. And then we get a break from that too, because we got like I said, like all that filigree on like the stockings and the dress, and then we have like this big poofy one big shape, really flowy. That's like got no filigree, no details at all. So they made little hip bobbles, but like there's nothing on that dress train to distract from the whole thing. I really like this one. They did a good job.
Yeah. I haven't seen it too many times in game, but from what I can tell, it's pretty popular.
Yeah.
All right, 2 left. First, Future Foundation Sue.
Huh. I like the different color scheme than the red on the other outfit that we saw for Future Foundation. Can't these people keep a color scheme together? Let's see what they did with her. This is a little different and unusual.
Very futuristic neon racing stripes and coloration in the hexagonal stuff.
Yeah, it's like got a really clean color scheme as far as like one highlight. Everything else is like very contrasty, like dark or light. It's like really clean because you get a lot of contrast with black and white, obviously, because they're about as far apart as you can get.
Mm-hmm. I think to contrast this to Johnny's was kind of a almost retro futuristic, but this looks like something from a cyberpunk movie.
Yeah. Well, I was looking at especially at the shoulders, but if we zoom out and look at kind of like the detail on the sides of the pants, I'm kind of getting like classical fashion, like think like Renaissance kind of stuff. I'm not gonna pick an era because I'm not that versed of it, but You know, we had like the big poofy sleeves and like you had like the big poofy designed pants. So she's giving a little bit of like classy, like, but not just classy, but rich classy, you know,
Mm-hmm.
with like the poofy sleeves and the little sleeve accents and things. And like that idea is kind of invoked in the padding on the legs because to me it kind of feels like some of the like really they did this thing in like medieval Europe where they would like pleat the fabric so it would have like these ripples. And they did a lot on sleeves and like the middle of the outfit and like literally everywhere. It's like where you've seen like an old portrait and they look like really goofy and frumpy almost because they have so many frills on the outfit.
Uh-huh.
So I'm getting that kind of idea, and it's interesting because they're mixing it with clearly they wanted to go future, right? So we got to go race car, um, machine kind of vibe. So we get all these cutouts and different fabric treatments because I'm seeing like the texture on the thighs and the color scheme that they chose of that black with these and white, which we think of as like a lot of our especially stuff designed nowadays for like machines and stuff will come in colors of black and white. And the shapes are like really clean and they're not entirely geometric because they're trying to do like this swoops, but they're like really measured swoops and
Mm-hmm.
curves because future.
Not a lot of chrome on her.
Not a lot of chrome, a little bit of silver in the jewelry I think, but not a ton. And some of the line filigree work that they're doing on some of this is really low contrast because they want to play around with shapes on the outfit, but they don't want to totally cut it to pieces because they want like the bigger idea to stand out. Even like the neon thing here that's coming off, it's kind of like the tailcoat or not tailcoat, but like the bottoms of a shirt. It kind of feels like, and I feel even like the middle piece is supposed to be like a kind of idea of a belt, but not really. But you know, it's kind of like the division between the top of her outfit and the rest.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, they're playing with like a few different design ideas because, like I said, they have like the old style fashion mixed with this sort of idea of future, new, using things that we're familiar with, which is either like technology or we always associate racing gear with being like fast and futuristic because only insane people go that fast. But also they look really cool while they're doing it. So, you know, a lot of times we'll just go like, as a designer, you'll go look at something that you can copy that'll invoke these kind of ideas. So you'll look up like, you know, what do race car drivers wear? What do, you know, motocross drivers wear? And so on. Let's look a little bit at the bottom of the boots because I didn't spend a lot of time on that. They're kind of doing that using gray as a division between the joints. But she has actual boots on in this outfit.
Yeah.
Which is kind of interesting because she doesn't have on actual gloves. I mean, there's kind of a division there for the sleeve, but it feels like one object. And her other outfits, the boots are attached or like, you know, blended in. So that's kind of an interesting idea to mess with. I suppose it's a bit of a nice contrast since she already has kind of the little pauldron things on her shoulders to have another piece of the outfit that's not attached. And then we got with a little bit of an accent color on the knees and the boots just to keep things in harmony with all that teal on the top. And then yeah, I guess
Ever since you started this series with me, by the way, I've been noticing all the brush strokes of color in other colors that you're not meant to notice, that is meant to just blend in, and it's fascinating. Like next to the bright neon under her knee, there's a teal brush stroke, and below that a blue brush stroke that I never would have noticed if you hadn't told me about that sort of thing.
yeah, I think there's actually pink like directly next to it too, and it's also on the bottoms of the shirt part of the outfit. At least I'm calling it the shirt part. It's kind of built in, but you can kind of see it on the hip. There's like a pink on next to the teal. And it looks like they're doing that in a few areas because they're using that pink warm color to again pop the teal color and make it more neon. And then of course they bring the blues in so that it meshes with the outfit as well.
Oh, I just noticed. You see the neon things right above her crotch?
Mm-hmm.
In the other Future Foundation skins, there's a belt that has a backwards F and a frontwards F. It's for Future Foundation. Hers are the neon stripes. I
Oh,
just noticed that.
nice.
Man, this skin rules.
I was saying how it was kind of like a belt, but not really. But it's meant to invoke the idea of a belt because her outfit is like one suit essentially. There's kind of a fun treatment in the sleeves too, which is kind of a material contrast, especially because it's not used anywhere else, but it's a little bit see-through-y, plastic-like almost.
Yeah, the same thing happened with Johnny's. It was just hard to tell because he was on fire.
Yeah, but it's kind of a fun texture treatment considering everything else has more of like the familiar treatment of just that scale texture. So it gives us a bit more incentive to look upwards on this outfit because it's like, oh, different texture. And obviously all the color and stuff is there. Her face being the only warm thing in the outfit doesn't, hurt either. I think they've brought a little more blue under her eyes and face a bit. I'm trying to tell. Because, like, when you have an outfit that is this monochromatic and this bright in value, you'll get a lot of light hitting the outfit, and then the light will bounce off. And it'll usually, like, slightly light up the underside of the whatever is next to it, like her face, for example. And so it'll have, like, a little bit of a white, like, bounce light, or a little bit of a blue, or whatever the color is it's bouncing. They still have the green and pinks in her hair, different hairstyle. Did they mess with the saturation in this one too? Yeah, it's like desaturated on the ends. With more bright orange and such for highlights. The sleeves are so good though. I love this the surface treatment on that because they even seem to be picking up the glow of the neon. She's even got two teeny little neon accents underneath her on her shoulders there.
Oh yeah, so she does.
They're only visible, I think, in certain angles, but that's kind of
They're
cute.
definitely not visible if you're at the normal distance while playing the game.
Also, just realized that the gray patches really accent her butt.
A little bit.
Because they kind of push things up. They're like, whoop. I hope they're as comfortable as they look. Oh, and you get the line with the neon on the backs of her arms too, a lot like some of the other outfits, but that's a really dramatic swoosh on the neon, which is really a fun way to play with shape sometimes as a designer, because sometimes to make it have more pizzazz and interest, you go like a really dramatic loop, because as visually, straight lines are slightly curved lines are pleasing and easy to process, but then we get these big curves where we're like, ooh, shapey.
Mm-hmm.
And it really gives some dimensionality to her forearms too, because of the muscles and stuff that would be back there. And since she's animated too, a lot of fun movement.
How do you feel about the forearm particle effects in this costume?
I think in this one, because we just have black and white, and like we don't have that kind of weird desaturated pink in the mix. This one isn't nearly as offensive looking. I still don't know if they're necessary, to be honest, but in this case...
you are damning them with faint praise.
But in this case, like, the rest of the outfit feels very future, so it feels like it goes with the theme.
Mm-hmm. Wait till you see the particle effects on Mr. Fantastic's Future Foundation costume. You'll either love it or hate it, and I'm not sure which.
And I don't know if my impression would have been different if I hadn't seen a really bad example of it. But it works well in this outfit because the outfit is primarily those colors. So it doesn't stick out like a sore thumb like it did on the other one, where it feels like it's a texture of nothing. This feels like, a future glitchy texture because her outfit is future glitchy black and white.
Mm-hmm.
So it actually matches. Ooh, I love the fingers too, the treatment on here, just like the way they cut the glove up. Which is a little different than usual. Usually they do like all color on the front of the glove and then the palm is all one color, but this one gives her like fingers.
Yeah, it's very cool. The more I look at this skin, the more I want it.
Say, be the change you want in the world.
A friend of mine offered to get me a skin from the shop, or at least I think he was. He was probing about which skin in the shop I would want. Maybe I'll tell him I want this one.
Yeah, this one's really nice. I like it.
Any other comments before we move on to our last skin?
It's like I could talk about the way they cut up the wide areas, but it seems like it's pretty similar to what they've done before, in that they're following a lot of other lines they've already established, and it's done really well.
All right, are you ready for this? Are you ready for the famously horny skin that streamers will put on their game loading page while they're looking for matches? This is one of the horniest skins in the game. Sue Storm's villain skin, Malice.
They let them put this in public.
Here's the thing. Compared to what this skin looked like in the comics, this is chaste.
Because, yeah, this is like, got the full pinup girl ensemble. Big cutouts, big thighs. Go big or go home.
Look at all that cake.
And tons of leather.
I think the belly button down to mid thigh bit is egregious, but I think the rest of it rules.
And they got like almost a sheer color on the whole lower section of the body, like a pantyhose kind of thing going on, because it's not the same color as her upper body.
Oh wow, yeah, you're right.
It's like this like rosy purple, like this is very horny. Because they made it like that soft airbrushed look on the skin. Oh my gosh.
I never noticed that before.
You're welcome. There's even wrinkles in the little spandex too. Like on the parts
Oh my god, you're right, there are.
Someone was lovingly rendering this outfit.
Hey, it made them $1 billion or whatever.
They spared no expense. Oh, let's zoom out for a moment on this one, because one thing I really am loving about the playing around with the design on this one is that they really played with scale on a lot of stuff. So like the gloves on her arms are like big, enormous, cuffs on those gloves, and then they were like giant oversized spikes on the feet and those wrappings and such, and like even the whole chest piece with all those leather wrappings and things feels big, and they've got like pauldrons that are like enormous spiky. So like the play of proportion on this outfit is incredibly fun, because like the way the space is cut up with the size difference between the different elements. I'm trying to like pick it apart, but it's just right now I'm just like, it's so pleasing. Such a fun way.
I figured you would either think this skin was eye rolling or fucking awesome, with no in between, and possibly both.
Because like I'm trying to think of like how the outfit would play if they hadn't played with proportion. Like maybe if they made the gloves and the spikes like normal sized. And I guess that would have been interesting, but this is just like way more fun.
The thing about this skin is that if it were just a horny skin, it would have made a bunch of money and then disappeared from public consciousness. Mm-hmm. But it's really cool besides being a horny skin, so it's stuck around, and you still see a ton of people running around in this skin, even though it was her launch store skin.
Yeah, so I think like with the scale of the proportions, they're doing like a big scarf on the top, big pauldrons, and like even the head wrappings are adding a lot of bulk to the top of her silhouette. So the top, she's very top heavy.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we can tell.
I'm gonna make you leave the room. And then they do pull in the gloves. They make those oversized, so we have kind of like a medium shape. And then if you zoom back out. So we're going to balance the big, bulky on the top, medium shape in the middle, and then we're going to add some big shapes on the bottom. And they're asymmetrical a little bit, too, so they kind of come off at a little bit of a diagonal, because we have way more weight on the one leg than the other. And the other leg's kind of like left bare. There's like these 3 belts that are going around the one, like kind of booty thing. I'm not sure what to call it, that kind of boot. It has no sole. She's just barefoot. But the visual weight of all those elements are leading to this really fun thing, because she gets a bit of asymmetry. The balance of the proportions are interesting, and what makes the words is what makes this outfit work so nice. Because when you have those like big cutoffs on like in lots of thigh, you don't have any details there, so you're having like these big empty areas. And so they're letting those your eyes rest on the parts they want you to look at. But it makes this fun shape too. Like that leg makes a big line too, because there's no stops with those horizontal lines on the belts and stuff once you get past the little bit of weight on the bottom of the leg. Mm-hmm. So you get like this big swoop to the top, and then you start to see like the details in that corset belt ensemble she's got going on. And even that one's kind of interesting because it's kind of like a tank top thing with a big front panel, and the front panel is really detailed and has a really bright, bold, eye-catching design. It's actually one of the brightest things on the outfit because all the other reds are muted a bit more, except for maybe the eyes. But it's pretty close. It's not a big difference, but it's just a slight difference. So we got like big, punchy, like floral design on that front panel, and then the belts kind of follow around, because they're not really like attached to anything really. They're just kind of accenting shape and adding more form, and they're adding also a lot of visual texture because they're also like they're taking up space and they have three-dimensionality, and there's lots of them, so they're almost like a texture of themselves, which is fun too because her head's got that head wrap thing, so we're kind of mimicking that texture. The bottom of the outfit really doesn't have a lot of it until we get to the big kind of metal spike boot things. Mm-hmm. Which also have a bit of the same texture treatment, but they're bigger in scale. So we still got a lot of contrast with that, so that doesn't feel too samey. And then I'm curious how we attach all this into the back. We might not get a good view because she has this enormous cape. Oh, she has like a rib cage spine thing. Ah, cool. And like another metal piece on it. And then she has kind of like an interesting little arm kind of sash thing here where it's like a diamond shape added onto that, which is kind of fun. I think that kind of breaks up the muscle groups a bit too and adds a little bit more interest than if they just left it one shape. Another cutout, because again they're going for this kind of corset idea, so if they don't cut out the sleeve it's gonna not look like a corset anymore. But it follows the shape of the arms really fun, so it almost like comes off like a cape on the top of the shoulders and then wraps around the arms. So we get the kind of the advantage of it being a cutout, while also feeling a bit like a sleeve or a piece of armor. And the gloves, even though she's wearing gloves, she has more material there, because I think the sleeve continues down again on the backs of the arms. Yeah. Which again, I think is adding to the bulky feeling of the top of the outfit. It's like, bulk, danger, because she's got all these spikes and stuff. So we're going to keep the dark shapes, because if we go skin, it's going to be you're gonna looking at a lighter, safer color, right? We want dark, scary, because she's all gothic and punky, and goes right into those oversized gloves, which are not done up either. They're loose, so they're again kind of floppy and textury. They're not ordered, so they're irregular lines are harder to read sometimes, and they feel more wild. So there's not an order or to it, so they use the fact that they're unbuckled to give her more of a wild shape, and they could play around with the lines, because even the top of it comes to a triangle. In design language, things that are triangle shaped and pointy are dangery. Things that are like a square shape are like strong and sturdy, and things that are round and circular like are soft and safe, right? And you're never going to pick one to dominate your entire design, but you can use a lot of them to have like this one is probably like mostly triangle, a teeny bit of square, and then I got some roundness for the curves.
Very round.
Yeah, very round. But if you have the round, then you can really contrast with the danger shapes of all those spikes. And she's got claws.
She doesn't just have claws on her fingers. She's got claws on her toes. She's got like stick-on nails for her toes, which you can barely see if you look at them like that. But they're there. Man, it's the greatest racket Marvel Rivals streamer ever had was putting this So,
You're really stuck on that, aren't you?
no, this is funny, I swear. So if you go to play, it displays a character skin that you have. And you've seen this before, so I don't mind showing it to you now, this skin. And you can turn the skin around. So the greatest racket I've ever seen a rival streamer get was putting this as their screen and saying, if you gift me 5 subs, I'll spin her. I wonder how much money he made off of that.
But one thing I didn't notice is that she has a couple more belts on the gloves too, which are showing the 3-dimensional of that form, because you can see it wraps around the wrist, but also it's adding more bulk again. It's also a split on the gloves too, I just noticed. You can see how they kind of split open.
Yeah.
That's just kind of a fun little detail. Also adds another line that follows the forearm too. But it's also just part of how the gloves are put together, and it adds to that whole, the glove is open and big and bulky.
I do like that the straps on the gloves are physics items.
What I also find interesting is they made big bulky gloves, but they kind of didn't cheat. They just used like the way fashion is to make the gloves open, and thus they look bigger. Like if they were actually attached properly, they were probably actually the right size for her or near it. They're probably a little overemphasized, but by doing that, they don't feel cartoony as much. They're like, you know, like have a realistic bent to it. Oh, let's see, she got a little bit of red under the pauldron, but I think they're kind of connecting it to the, or no, it's actually red underneath. I thought maybe they were connecting it to the scarf.
I thought that too when you pointed it out, but no, that's the pauldron.
Yeah, nice way to keep up the red in the outfit, which is actually pretty controlled. Like a little teeny bit on the gloves and, you know, big scarf, and then they don't come back again until the legs, so it's like very spaced out. Let's see what else they've done with her, because they've done a lot. They have even dark eyeshadow and lips too. And then I was going to look at the back of the cape a bit, because I haven't talked too much about it, because there is a bit going on there. Because we're talking about visual weight, and because she's animated, they put like these big metal pieces on the back of this kind of nonsensical cape, so that it feels heavy. Even its movement is heavy, because they're going for, you know, heavy, scary character, right? But I like that there's a little more silver accents towards the top, and it makes it feel like it's woven together and almost functional in a weird way. And then there's like even another silver piece, so we have different scales too. So we have small metal piece, medium, and then large by the time we get to the bottom. And there's a few little accents to kind of keep a rhythm or a pattern going. So sometimes, like, when you have a lot of elements that are not matching, you can put something that is a pattern to kind of keep us together. So we have like 2 little ones on the pauldron, and then it's like row of 2. That's a pattern. We can identify that in our brain. And it'd be like, oh, nice cape. Because there's you know, and then there's matching on each side too. It's symmetrical. A little bit of asymmetry in the way it's woven at the top, but not a lot. It's just a very nicely designed fantasy cape for this kind of character. This is a wild design, and it's pulling off of a lot of different resources, and it's done really well on proportion and treatment of texture and things. I really enjoy it. But I also like this is the Shadow the Hedgehog one. Here comes Shadow.
Anything else to say about this one?
I don't think so. I think I've caught most of everything. And I love the surface treatment of the textures, because if you start paying attention to it, there are like very different ordered groups.
Oh, she's got wrinkles in her thigh highs too.
Yeah, because like that texture of that boot is the same as like the corset thing, and then like all the belts have the same texture as the wraps and the gloves. So I think you could almost order this one by texture too, because it's controlled so well. You know, they're like you know, leather, satin, you know, belt, spike, and a teeny bit of fabric. Not a lot of fabric in this one, but like the scarf and the cape.
We know there's not much fabric in this one.
Let's say the economy is, you know, hard these days. They went with what was available.
She can't afford pants on her current salary.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, before we go to MVPs, I'm going to show you the Future Foundation. Where is it? Oh, hang on. The color changing.
Wow. So they're going with like she's using her powers and then with the color change. Yeah. It's like she turned from a PlayStation into an Xbox.
Which version of the color scheme do you like better?
I'm tending towards the white just because it feels a bit more friendlier and like I don't know. I feel like when depending on the year and what kind of future design you're going for, and because of the hexagon, I'm thinking of like kind of the post Y2K future,
Mm-hmm.
where everything is like panels and grids and things. I think the white feels a lot more like a future outfit to me. Which, you know, I'm trying to think of what kind of movies and stuff I've seen that've had this type of design in it. It's like the really clean lines. Everything's like a plastic panel. Most of the time they're white. Sometimes other colors. It's not one of my favorite future aesthetics, but it's one that's becoming a bit more common.
Mm-hmm.
And it works if, you know, that's the kind of story you're trying to tell, because it's like a very samey, conglomerate, homogenous future. So if it's the story you're trying to tell, it's a great design to pick from. I'm more of I like the dirty, you know, rusty, messed up kind of futures like that people actually live in.
Wally as opposed to Eva.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Wally as opposed to Eva. But sometimes people use both just to show like a contrast between like, you know, a government, you know, controlled environment. It'll be all stark white, unrealistic. Like people will work in an office that looks like that. Yeah, right. Versus, you know, like the average person. But I like both. They're very good.
All right, and one more remote to show you, which I'm going to show you with the Malice skin.
Oh, whoa. Does she do that without the Malice skin?
Yes, actually. Let's do it in the wedding dress, just to be funny.
Oh, no. She's crown of thorns and everything. Our Lord and Savior, fantastic woman.
All right, MVP time. Here's the default one.
Oh, fun.
Here's the wedding one. Reed and Sue share this one.
Oh, so they're both the same no matter what.
Yeah.
Huh.
One of the big complaints about this skin is that when she's invisible, in gameplay, when she's invisible, the enemy team can't see her, but the allied team and yourself see her in like this glowy blue ghosty outline.
Uh-huh.
One of the big complaints about this skin is that it's not that color when she's in this skin. The pink.
The pink.
Yeah.
That she's blue instead. It's gonna be like the end of Sleeping Beauty. Pink dress or the blue dress. The only thing I want to say about this MVP though, because it's shared, it seems like it focuses on Reed a bit more than it does on her. Like she's in it here, and there's like, ooh, fireworks. And it's like Reed, and she's like off screen a little bit and participating, and then she pops in again.
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah,
like
I
they
can
should
see
have.
that.
I feel like if we're gonna make it shared, they should have cut it a bit more 50-50. Like give her a scene, give him a scene, them together, then voila. You know.
Yeah.
But that's like my opinion, man. I love the border though, the flowery border.
Oh,
Very
yeah.
cute.
All right.
And that cake looks luscious. Can I have some? It looks so good.
Future Foundation.
I really immediately love the car. A fantastic car. Ooh.
This one's shared between these 4 Future Foundation skins.
Oh, did they just put a different character in the front, or is she always there?
She's always there.
Oh, because it feels like her skin, to be honest, because she's like, aha!
It kind of does, yeah.
And they're just like, we're in a car. the thing kind of just chilling back there. They're just like,
Yep. All right, and Malice.
hot. Evil hot. No notes. Gosh, even her illustrated design is really pretty. So they always do that kind of splash illustration at the end. Like, that looks cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably like a half a dozen million people's wallpapers right now. And if it's not, they're lying.
All right, so before we go to pick a favorite skin, which of these MVPs do you think is the best?
Oh my goodness. Obviously this one.
Yeah? Thought it might be.
I mean, even going with some of the other ones, as far as like artistic merit and the way they're animated. Like the first one's kind of basic. It does the job and it's kind of punchy, but she kind of does the thing in the end, like most of the basics are.
Mm-hmm.
And then the wedding one is really cute, lots of good scenery. I just don't like that it doesn't quite give her a good focus scene, in my opinion. The Academy one is, it's not very dynamic. Like, it's cute because they're floating around the car, but it doesn't feel very action-y as far as what's happening in it. They're just kind of slowly floating in it, and they have to because they're sharing it because they want to show the other characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like there could have been a different solution to that, to focus all four characters while still having it be, like, punchy dynamic. Because most of the MVPs are, because you want to feel cool, you got the MVP, right? This one kind of feels like it fits everything. Like, there's, you know, the cool effects, the boom, swish, you know, and then, like, a cool jumping scene and a lot of effects, and then that cool splash screen. Like, even regardless of the outfit design, I feel like this one is really well done. As far as the framing, there's even a part in that beginning, like where the special effect element actually crosses over her face, or like her whole body, like it obscures it a little bit, like in this part, like right there for half a second.
Mm-hmm.
Like that feels cool and it feels three-dimensional.
All right, so that one's your favorite MVP. Does that carry over to the costumes?
Oh my gosh, how can I not pick the goth thirst trap? Honestly.
I knew you would like this one.
This is like the kind of character I would design almost, except there wouldn't be as many cutouts, but like all the spikes and goofiness and love and the color schemes, like yeah, I like this kind of stuff. So honestly, it's actually just well designed in general too, though, when I was talking about all the merits on the scale of how things are proportioned. Because you could take this entirely same design and change the proportions up, and I think it would not be as successful. So I really like what they did proportion-wise and texture-wise and how controlled everything was. Because, you know, sometimes you get these kind of designs and you're like, oh, easy, right? You can get a little lazy with it because you already did the hot, sexy part.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that everything has been carefully considered in the way it looks and the way it's proportioned and presented. Also hot.
Yeah, let's spin her for the audience. Okay, you saw what you're getting. All right, well, that's Invisible Woman. Let me actually equip a skin.
You're gonna equip the correct one, right?
I don't have Malice.
Oh, well.
If you want to get me Malice for my birthday, I'll use her. But I think I'm going to get the Future Foundation skin and use that. But all I have is Blood Shield. So that's Invisible Woman. Next time, for real this time, we're going to be doing Hela.
All right,
Expect
more
that-
goths!
Hell yeah. Expect that in a few days. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out. I will see you next time. Say bye.
Bye!